folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you with my guest host, Lucky Stone. Thank you for being here.
It was exciting. Knew this was going to happen, but I'm ready for it.
Good deal. Good deal. You're like the go-to guy in all the shows here on the esoteric tea with Courtney and and you got your show and you do that and well, we all appreciate everything you do. The shorts especially, and to know that your big announcement, your channel is back up and running, right?
Yeah, that's it. It was on Friday. They took a lot of channels down about 6 o'clock at Eastern time, just wiped them all out, and then within an hour brought them all back. There was a glitch. They updated something, and it just, for some reason, the AI just decided to just eliminated a bunch of channels. It was. I think they're doing something behind the scenes, and it just happened to be something clicked on and clicked off by accident. But like I said, I received a notification saying, "Yeah, your channel has been removed for repeated spam content," and I'm
Wow.
like, "Oh my god!" And I'm locked out of it. Oh my god, everything's gone. Everything gone.
Yeah.
And then I got an email that says, "Don't worry about it. You don't need to challenge this. Your channel's back. It's going to take a little time to get all your videos but you'll get everything back just as you like. We apologize for the inconvenience." Of course, I'm thinking, okay, I was ready to send an email saying, whatever the problem is, let's work it out. I'll remove any problem channels. Tell me what the problem is. I'll never do it again. Because I don't make any money from my channel. There's nothing about it. It's just my little hobby, but it's my baby, That's the thing, I don't know.
Well, absolutely. And see, that's the thing. It's when these things get removed, it's devastating to a little small creator as yourself or myself, because we're pushing 1,000 subscribers, and that's about it. And it's like, oh man, 1,000 people, and you just and they're gone, just like that, for what? And then they really don't tell you, like, it was this video, or they don't give you a strike. They just say your channel's canceled.
Well, that's too, because I have got several of those non-strike strikes where they removed a video and said, "Yep, we removed this video for terms of service. This isn't a strike. It's just removed."
Yeah.
And if you don't get a strike, you can't challenge it. So, and that's the thing. So the video's gone. You have no choice. Can I watch the video? No. Can I have a copy of it? Can I fix it? No, it's gone. We deleted it. It's gone. Goodbye.
Yeah. And then you sit there wondering. Now, are you also linked to what the heck is that other one?
Right.
Oh, I'm on there. What?
You're on Bright something? You've
got no.
Odyssey?
Odyssey, yes. I'm thinking, man, my brain is just dead tonight.
Odyssey, yeah. I got removed from Odyssey because I don't get 20 views. You need 20, at least, at the minimum 20 views per week on Odyssey.
Really? Oh, man.
And I don't get any views on Odyssey because, that's just, Odyssey's such a small niche community. It's.
I never thought of that. I wonder. I mean, all my stuff I thought goes to Odyssey, but I'll have to check that. Now you got me concerned. I'm wondering, you got to get 20 views a week?
I got an email from Odyssey saying we cannot continue your uploads because you didn't receive 20 views a week, I think it was. I thought, sure. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm not going to cry about it.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes sometimes.
That's true. That's exactly. I must have deleted it. I empty my emails occasionally.
Yeah. Interesting.
I might have been mad, like, "Oh, you don't want me? I don't want you either." That's.
Yeah, well, and that's so true. I gotta get back there. 20 views. That's Scotty's pressure.
Odyssey. There's nothing on it. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
It's not like. Yeah. YouTube's so hot. YouTube's a behemoth to fight it.
Yeah. Nina says she's never heard about this. And Scotty Boy says 20 views. That's pressure. That's pressure. Well, I don't know. I never heard about that either. I know my stuff I think goes to Odyssey. I mean, I hooked up to their name. I don't remember sending me an email. Anyway, the thing is like I watch a lot of stuff on Odyssey that I can also watch on YouTube, but it's ad free. Like I watch the Canadian
Oh, yeah.
stuff, and I'll watch EA Quelling. He's on there. Of course, he's not on YouTube, but the Ryder Lee's on there. A lot of them are on there, and they don't have any commercials, which is really nice because I can watch the same thing on Odyssey with no commercials versus the same thing on YouTube with hitting the button, commercial. It's like,
Yep.
terrible.
True.
Either get the upgraded YouTube and pay. It's always pay. Anyway, we're gonna get on. See, this boils down. We gotta have faith in it. Just gotta have faith in the system, man. Faith in the system.
Yeah. It'll work out. They love us.
Yes, yeah, they do, don't they? But what is faith? What is your definition of faith as I pull it up here and now? What is your definition?
I guess a belief in something that you believe will. How do you say? Without saying belief 4 times. Faith is your belief in something outside yourself. I guess that's the,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Nina says I am in 2 months free premium. Cancel for trials. Yeah, good. Yeah, get over to Nina's and get on her Patreon and do that. Hey, remember everybody, Sin Day Live is coming up at the end of the month where we have our Halloween costume, and you better be there to see what I dress up like. So anyway, so with that, okay, I have screen share. This is a definition of faith according to the dictionary, not Wikipedia either. It's faith's allegiance or duty to or a person, loyalty to one, fidelity to one promises, sincerity of intentions, belief and trust in the loyalty to a god, belief in traditional doctrines of a religion, a firm belief in something for which there is no proof. And there, go back to your belief. Word. Saying believe it because that's what it is. It's you believe something. It's a complete trust into something that also you have no proof in. Something that is believed, especially with strong conviction. That's where we get all those religious nuts from, right? A system of religious beliefs. Go figure. Okay, we're going to go to the next page. Faith, belief, or choose a right synonym for faith, belief, faith, credence, credit, meant assent to the truth of something offered for acceptance. Belief may or may not imply certitude in the believer. My belief that I had caught all the errors. Faith almost always implies certitude. I don't know what certitude means, but maybe you can enlighten me on that. Even where there is no evidence or proof. Certitude. Meaning certainty? I'm not sure what certitude means.
That does sound like certainty. That does sound.
Yeah. An unshakable faith in God.
Yeah. Absolute certainty, conviction that something is the case, 100%. Certainty. Yeah, that's all. Certitude is just certainty.
Yep. Scotty Boy's got it. I am forever yours faithfully. Means that he believes. Oh, Pamela Jean, she loves YouTube Premium. Oh, good for you. I just haven't checked up the money. Faithful. Yes. Elderberry, you know what the term faithful is. Hey, and if anybody wants to come on and, voice their opinion on here over what their faith is, let me know and come on. I'll let you on. Here, the link is in the chat. So, servitude is slavery. Yes, slavery. I get it. Boy, good one. Okay. Noun. A faith without doubt leads to moral arrogance. The eternal prayfall of the religiously convicted. How come faith always goes back to religion? Let's say here's a sentence. Nick wiped at the mustache of a sweat droplets that was a much part of his face as his eyes, nose, and gave a shrug that indicated a certain lack of faith in our judgment. Yeah. When you're sweating, you may not have faith in what you're doing. But while there was no one with a grain of sense trusted Miss Stephanie, Jem and I had considerable faith in Miss Maudie. She had never told on us, and never played at cat and mouse with us. She was not at all interested in our private lives. She was our friend. So being a friend is associated with faith again. Why is that? Because you want to trust. I think the word trust is going to come in here somewhere. Okay, here we go with the next group. Noun. Faith without doubt leads to moral arrogance. Did we just do this? Oh, yeah, I guess I did. I copied it twice. For those who are already feeling a pinch, this is examples on the web. This lack of faith in government support leaves many feeling left behind and uncertain about where to turn for help. Yes. So there you go. Faith and government somehow get put together too. Strong majorities of Americans, including most people of faith, supported non-discrimination protections for LGBTQ people, but overall support has declined, according to the latest polling from Public Religion Research Institute, which tracks such responses annually. So faith and discrimination go together too. Faith is in everything, isn't it? It muddles up the network. Oh, there's Nina. Hang on. There we go. Nina come to join us. Hello there.
Howdy, everybody. How's it going?
It's going great. We're just going through the words and examples of faith. Do you have something to add to this?
Well, faith means that you don't believe. You're just having faith. You don't know, I should say. You don't know, so you're having faith in something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? that's what you're trying to get to, is because that's the thing is, the more you talk about it, like Lucky was trying to give his definition of faith, but it comes back to belief. You believe something is true, even though it's not, may not. And I wrote down a bunch of stuff too, and we're going to get to that too. Faith is this word, and that's what we're going through here. And it's just going through a bunch of sentences.
It's kind of like what you were saying there about trust coming into it. And it's kind of like the same thing. Trust the plan.
Yeah.
Right? Those kind of things. Just blindly have faith. Just blindly trust us, without actually knowing anything. So that's kind of where I'm coming from it. But yes.
Trust, faith, things like that. There's Sunset Dreamer. He come to join us tonight. Thank you. Pamela Jean, Scotty Boy, Peachy King Queen. Anyway, yeah, here it says the first known use of the word faith was in the 14th century in the meaning defined as sense, or in the 15th century in the meaning defined as above. And there you go. The first known use of faith was in the 14th century. So before that, they used other words and not the word faith. Faith kind of like scooped them all up and said, we're going to make it into one, and nobody will know what the word is, because it's really hard. Just like you were trying to define the word faith without using belief or truth. You can't do it.
It's kind of interesting. It says above there, like, is that having faith in the above or
in what I've been reading in all of
the
this,
unseen?
what happened in all these times in the 14th, 15th, here back in the 12th century? I didn't get to read this, but it says the English word is an early loan from the medieval French, first attested in a homily fragment from the 12th century. It appears to preserve the final dental fractive, generally lost in old early French, a loss reflected in the more common Anglo-French form, loaned to Middle English. So they're talking here in the 12th century. So 12, 13, 14, 15th century. What happened in those centuries? What was big going on?
The Normans, they invaded England. That's why we have two words.
Blame it on the Vikings.
No, that's French.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay, I blame it on the French.
Yeah, because you got to remember the French came into England, and that's why we have two words. Beef is the meat, and cow is the animal, because beef is French. Pork.
Bluff.
Yeah, pork is the French word, while pig is the English word. So the English words are common words, while the meat itself, because only the rich could eat the meat, while the poor people took care of them, the rich would eat them. So that's what happened. That's why we have so many French words in English, and that's what it comes down to. And I went the opposite way with faith and go, okay, what's the opposite meaning? Which is disbelief and disloyalty, dishonesty, distrust. I mean, that's the kind of thing. It's the only way to figure out a word is, okay, what does the opposite mean, to figure out, going back and forth. But, faith is about loyalty. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we agreed that faith is in belief of something. So what is belief? Let's look at belief. Once you understand words that you're using, you tend to understand the world a little bit. And I think people disregard words. They just use them.
You be the lie.
Yes.
You be the lie.
You be the lie. And here, this is a good. So we go to belief, a state or a habit of mind in which trust or confidence is placed in some person or thing. Her belief in God, a belief in democracy. I bought the table in belief that it was an antique, contrary to popular belief. Something that is accepted and considered to be true or held as an opinion. Something believed in individuals' religious or political beliefs. Okay, the bodies of intent held by a group. And we know there's plenty of groups out there to believe in something. And then we tend to join up with those groups and have faith. Naming, it says, beliefs of the Catholic Church. A conviction.
We're having faith in that leader, that faith that that person is telling the truth.
Yeah. So the thing is, what happens is, and I wrote down a bunch of notes, sorry, but one person has their own version of the truth, and others cling to it and have faith that it's right. They have faith and they believe that that man's truth or that person's truth is right without basing it on logic, science, or common sense. Is that not how things kind of go?
Like blindly just going by faith, blindly, without having any facts, without knowing anything.
But exactly. But that's the thing. Where does this all start from?
Trusting. Yeah.
We can talk about beliefs. Remember, a lot of these beliefs and faith and stuff started in events. Remember the comet cult where the guys all whacked themselves and they were going to jump on the backside of a comet? I don't even remember what the thing was called, but they believed there was
it was Heaven's Gate. It was called Haley Bop, and they wore purple and black Nikes, and they put a purple scarf over their faces, and it was basically they did in waves. So the younger people had to take care of the bodies of the older people.
Yeah,
it was sick. It was sick.
Well, this is This is kind of what happens when you know, have that kind of faith or trust, I guess, eh? And you got to remember, there's a lot of mental illness in there, right? You know, but
Yeah, they need it.
unfortunately,
That's
some
true.
of them are very charismatic, very believable, you know. But going back to what you said earlier, where does this come from? Well, I think it comes right all the way to the Anunnaki. You know,
Mhm.
somebody, you know, saw it. And so, you know, they have, and then everybody after that would have to have faith that that's what it was, that that's what actually happened. But it was just that
Mhm.
one, the first person that saw it, you
Yeah.
know, saw them, that were there,
Well,
that remember them, you know, or whatever. So,
well, that's the thing. It's like we'll just use the Haley Bob comet thing. These one guys must have said, "I had a dream." Or I had a vision, or I
mhm,
was taken up by the aliens somehow or another, and this is what I did, and this is well. Then after that, all these other people had to have faith and believe in that guy because the
yeah,
whole darn group, and they must have had a lot of faith and belief that they threw all of their common sense out the window enough to off themselves. Remember, I don't say the other
right,
words.
right,
We uh,
mhm,
become
yeah.
non-living, and because of that, I mean, what faith is that? That is unbelievable. Or
I
is
think
that just
that's where
war?
you really want to believe. You know, you're so fed up with your life or whatever that you just want to believe this. You want this to be true. You know, it's
And
kind of like with people in the world right now, you know, they're not seeing, you know, what other people are seeing because they don't want to. They don't want to believe that, you
well,
know, because it's not fun. But
yeah. Well, do you know that people get an emotional high off of believing in something, having faith in something?
mhm,
They become emotionally high, and it blinds people from logic and reason and common
mhm,
sense. And then once they give all that stuff up, then they can be manipulated by more belief and faith and whatever. It's the
yeah.
ultimate drug more than anything else. It's it's a drug. It's emotional intoxication.
Well, especially if there's a prize at the end of it. You know, obviously they did it because they thought they were going to get something, and which is what religion is based upon in the first place. It has
Mhm.
nothing, you know, you're not going to get anything in this life, but you know, if you do all this in here, we're going to guarantee you're going to have belief and faith that, hey, once you cross over, you're going to get your prize then, you know, so you're doing it all because of that prize that you have faith that you or belief that you're going to get, which they're probably not going to. But yeah, so that they live their whole life, you know. I
Yeah,
remember, yeah, calling my mom out on that. It's like, so you're doing this so you get some brownie points in heaven. You know, that's what you're doing this for. You know what I mean? Like, not because you're a good person, not because you want to, but because you think you're going to get some brownie points. That's what
yeah.
irritates me about these people. But
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we all know religious people. Let's go there for a second. Talk about a little bit about religion. Why religion? Because religion, there are 4,300 religions that claim to be the one with the true path. Now, they all
mhm.
can't be right. So that tells you right there they they all can't be right. Um,
But they
and
offer peace. They offer peace to people. They give them something. I don't think they all claim to be the one true. Buddhism never claimed to be the one true. It's just a path to take for spiritual enlightenment. Buddha never said, follow me. Hell, Jesus never said, follow me. They just said,
No, the
here's the way.
Abrahamic religions though do. They're very kind of stuck on that. Like there's only
But
one way, and
But
that's,
I'm going
you
with
know,
Robert
Jesus.
said. He said 4,000 religions say we're one true one. Yes, the
Yeah.
Abrahamic one is always fighting. That's the one who they're all saying is one true God. And
mhm,
that's all just a marketing thing, it's
Mhm, mhm.
but that's all it is. So,
yeah, well, and see,
Yeah.
but it gives people, this is what their religion gives them something. They wouldn't stay there if they weren't getting something from it. Even if it's doesn't make any sense to us on the outside, it's
Well, they
painful. It's
promise
ridiculous.
heaven, right? Salvation, heaven. You know, going to somewhere better after this. If you follow, if you do this, then you'll get this after you die. That's their whole gig. If it wasn't for that, if there was no hell, there wouldn't be any religion.
But that's the end. That's the end point. I don't think the end point makes people stay. I think it's the camaraderie, having other people with the same thing. I think that's what sells religion, is having people who have the similar beliefs as you at least once a week, that you can meet up and feel camaraderie, because a lot of us are individuals. A lot of the society we live in, people are alone, even if they have families, they're alone. And so if you can go to religion once a week, you'll have
that's how they get you suckered in, because they usually get you when you're on your lowest. You're either on the street, or you just got through a divorce, or your house just burnt down, so where do you go? You go to the church, and they're great. Like I've been in and out of those places so many times. And, I've also seen what goes on in there as well. And it's not all what you think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, so, politicians, they love the church. That's where they network the most. And that's kind of why people go. Most people, honestly, there's very few probably that are still kind of hooked on the whole, oh, we better do good because, we're going to get brownie points, or we're going to go to hell. Like most of those people in there, they don't even care about that. Because if they did, they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. And that's kind of like with the Vatican. I just, obviously they do not believe in the story that they're telling us, because there's no way they would be doing the things they're doing in there if they thought they were going to hell. You know what I mean? So they obviously know, right? So, yeah. I find the higher up you go, almost the less faith they have in the actual thing that they're peddling. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Well, on
the bottom.
Let's pick on the church for a minute. And now, a good question for you, both of you. Most of those religious people, they believe truly in the Bible, correct? I've heard it a million times. It's in the Bible. It's got to be true.
Right.
But here's a few things that I got. In Joshua, he commands the sun to stand still, suggesting that the sun revolves around the earth. You got to have faith and believe, people. Don't question it. Genesis 1 describes the creation of the entire universe in just 6 days, which contrasts starkly with billions of years outlined by cosmology and evolutionary biology. Well, I don't know if the scientists are right either, saying that the earth is billions and billions of years old, but I don't agree with the Bible either, saying that was created in 6 days. That's
almost... You also got to remember there's a different part, and I can't remember which one now, that also says that 1 day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like 1 day. So that's where we kind of get, with God, there's no time, which is true. There is no time on there. So they just given us a week because that's something that a simple-minded people can understand, you see?
Yeah. Well,
so that's kind of what the Bible is all about. But
it just makes it confusing. Here's another one.
Yeah.
In Numbers, it mentions a talking donkey that converses with Balaam. Okay. Genesis 3:15 describes a talking serpent that tempts Eve. Do donkeys talk? Well, maybe serpents talk then.
Well, makes you wonder if there's a lot of psychedelics going on back in those days, like burning bushes, talking animals, like if we were talking like this today, we would have been locked up. Right?
Yes, exactly.
So, makes you wonder, right?
Well, this is a storybook. It's allegories. We do talk like this. Our movies, our cartoons. This is the problem. We're looking back at stories from thousands of years ago, which might have just been a morality story that just kept and go, oh, this is the truth. The mythology of Greece. The Greeks didn't believe all the stories, but they were good stories. So, and then some people did, some people didn't, but they were great stories to tell. The Bible was put together 2,000 years ago to collect enough stories that were good enough for the church. If you compared the Old Testament to the actual Jewish Kabbalah text, they're different. There are not 10 commandments. There are like 12, and because the way they're written. But we believe, the Jews have 10 commandments just like us. It is not like that. So that's the problem, is you're reading that from translations from white people. It's far more complicated. And religion is
yeah.
beautiful because it gives people a reason to live, because some people are depressed. So if it gives them
Yeah.
day to day, there is
Yeah.
goodness in religion. You have to
Yeah.
accept it all and then just stop being so negative to it. Just go to them and understand why they're in that place. And then from there you can grow and say, okay, now we can work together and maybe get them out of the brainwashing and get them into the belief in themselves. And that's the thing. It takes away a belief from yourself and puts it into a figure, Godhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
you know
yeah,
what? You just
like I said,
answered.
there's a
Oh,
lot of people that get
sorry.
into it are broken people, and for these people, it's a lifesaver. If it wasn't for the church picking them up at that moment, yeah, they may not have made it. And for sure, they do need the community and the resources that they can get through there, obviously, right? And I certainly hope that it was built on good, even though I know they had their own agenda as well, of course, with the tithing, we'll do all this, but once you got yourself back on your feet, 10%'s ours, right, buddy? Good old buddy, right? You know what I mean? So, you scratch your back, we scratch yours. There's no different than anywhere else, really, when it comes down to it. But no doubt about it, and if it keeps people on the straight and narrow, like if that's what it's going to need to keep society going, then so be it. And that's why I'm not opposed to the new religion that's coming, the one world that's coming, right? And you know what? We probably need it. I don't think people are ready to go without any religion.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Lucky's right. He too is people need it as a crutch. They're depressed and they need something. But we just talked about how religion and realities of life, people cannot face the cold hard truths of reality of life. They go for that faith and believe, for that emotional high, that drug that keeps them off depression. Without taking the drugs, if you can focus on what your faith is and some imaginary guy is helping you out of the ditch, well, there you go, man. You're saved. And what was that other part that you were talking about? Gosh darn, Lucky, my brain is very faulty today.
Well,
a long day there, Robert.
Yeah, I got so many things I've been trying to read and think of, and now I'm trying to remember what he was saying here before. And he was talking about the person, if depression, and then, but all of that, what he said is just what we talked about. That's the reasons people want to believe. They want to have faith in things because it gives them community and it gives them all of these things, right or wrong. People will throw out their common sense. They will throw out their beliefs. They will become in a delusion of irrational thought. They will go out and do atrocities. They literally will go out and believe in immoral guidelines. And that's my next part is immoral guidelines that are put into religions that cannot be true, that we all know that, we kind of voted on this. We all kind of stuck together and said, hey, in the Bible, it kind of said that slavery, is a thing. But we all know that taking another person, make him into a slave and calling him non-human isn't right.
We'll grow a little bit since then. Same with women's rights. Don't even go there.
Yeah. Well, that's the next thing, the subjugation of women, violence against non-believers. Hey, you don't believe the Bible or the Quran or whatever it says, you got to, off of them.
Well, now that is something that I think that they should be accountable for. You know how many millions of people have died because they didn't bow down to them? Like, come on. Yeah, no, that's the most bloodiest, evilest thing that's.
But
I don't know.
But a lot of this that's dogma that was put on after. The Jesus guy in the Bible, he was with women. He brought women to his level. Prostitutes, lepers, the Good Samaritan. Be the Good Samaritan. The Samaritans were outcast by the Pharisees, the other Jewish people. They were hated. The problem is we don't understand some of these books, some of these documents as of right now because we're looking at from our current view back then. And Robert's it's just that's our problem, is that we're told what this stuff means rather than going, wait a second. Let me read this as it is in the book. The book says, what Jesus said is flat out black and white right there. And then afterwards, the priests in the head will tell you, oh, this is what it really means. I mean, Jesus basically said, love your brother, not if they're the same religion. The Samaritans were a totally different outcast religion. And Jesus put him at the level, said, this is the kind of person you want to be. The kind, helping someone. The rich, the highfalutin priests, they let this guy die in the ditch. But this guy who had money, he just was hurt. The garbage Samaritan came and brought up and helped him and treated him when he didn't have to. When the same guy was in the ditch, the Samaritan helped, he would have no respect for him. And that's what Jesus was telling. And that's in the Bible. But of course, the religious heads, don't believe, kill them. That's not what Jesus was teaching. And it's right in the Bible. That's the contradiction of the Bible. The Jesus in the Bible is a wonderful, kind person. It's all the other garbage they put on there and say, okay, this is what it really means. That's the problem. Religion's not the problem, except for the leaders of the religion who tell you what to think.
Oh, exactly. That's what I was saying. That one, as I wrote it down here, you get one guy with his or their own version of the truth, and others cling to it and have faith in that. So you got that preacher guy up there, or a politician, or whoever it may be, in a powerful position, spewing this, and people around them don't tend to think for themselves. They just say, I believe what that guy's saying, so I have faith in him, and I'm going home to do my household whatever stuff and go back to work and blah, blah, blah. And so, I will support him. Well, they never look into it. They stop everything right there. They stop thinking. They stopped acting. They just say, I support that person. I kind of feel like that he's right. And that's the end of it. Why is that?
Well, it depends. I mean, what sold you on the religious to believe it? And maybe it was the kindness of Jesus, and then you go, okay, but then you end up going and taking the whole thing. That's the problem, is that you get brought into the kindness of the religion, and then the back end of the not kindness. Well, I want to support my religion, and these are the rules, so I guess I'll follow them. And that's the problem, is that I guess Nita's right. You come in sometimes at a low point in your life, and these people bring you up. And these people brought you up, so I have to trust them because they took me from garbage, and now I feel great. So, they must be right.
Well, and there you go with that next word, trust. Why do we trust somebody and have faith in them?
Well, and you don't question, because if you do have a question, they shoot you down right away. Oh, well, don't talk about that. Like, I remember I used to be in the Baptist church, and they don't believe in speaking in tongue. And yet it talks about that in the Bible. But if you ask one of them, oh boy, they'll redirect you so quick. They don't want to get into it. They don't want to, they don't want to talk about it. And that's the thing about it, is that, so you just end up not questioning. You don't say anything because you want to, you don't want to stand out. You don't want to be the rebel. You don't want to, make waves in there, right? Because then you'll get the left foot of fellowship, as Steiger calls it. Because if you're not on their team, boy, you're out of there so quick.
That is exactly what. These are your buddies. These are the people that you believe. This is your family outside of your real family. These are the, so you don't want to lose it. That's a good point. You don't. So
you don't say anything. So it would be like being an abusive family. You're not going to say anything because you don't want daddy to go to jail. So
that's it. That's exactly it. You don't want to lose it, so you put up with it because these are better than those outside. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
And it feels good because it's socially acceptable. It's actually, matter of fact, it's expected of you to go this route. And, this is where you network, and this is where you're going to, meet friends. You're probably going to meet your spouse and get your job or whatever. You know what I mean? That's the place. Every Sunday, everybody gathers there, so yeah,
And,
I mean,
but you're right. You want to be there with like-minded people, and you convince, I believe that you convince yourself that to believe in that stuff, to hang around with those people, instead of saying, well, I actually read the text myself. I sat down and really figured it out. And it doesn't mean anything that the preacher guy said or the politician guy said or whoever said. Didn't you, and then of course, what do they, like you said, they kick you out if you don't conform. And, and that's another thing. So people like to be in that group because, like you said, you might find your next wife there, your next husband there, or maybe your whole family goes or believes in that same thing. Like right now, I think they talk about how people, for generations vote Democrat just because it's their family's tradition.
Yeah.
Well, is that really?
And that's kind of what religion is as well.
You just vote Democrat because your whole family did for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. My father voted Democrat, so I'm going to vote Democrat. Do you know what they stand for? Nope, I just vote Democrat because that's the best.
That's right, my dad. I know. Well, it's the same with religion, like especially in Europe. Like we just say we're Christian because we have to, not because nobody's doing anything, not reading the Bible, not going to church, and none of that. It's just because that was expected. That's what we are now. And I was going to mention too, like, it's not just, come here and be part of this. No, you got to take a course. Like in the Baptist church, you got to take like a course. It takes quite a few weeks to learn things. And then you got to sign a contract and then a huge ritual of baptism. Like talk about like, it's a big freaking deal. Like you're signing away, like that's a signing away your soul. That's exactly what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember when they came over one time, a bunch of them, and they were like, they want to get me saved, come on, we're going to save you, blah, blah, blah. And here you got to repeat these words exactly. You got like, I can repeat those words all I want, but I'm not going to, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Doesn't mean you're a better person all of a sudden. No, I know.
I mean, you're wasting your time, and they really worked on me. Oh my God. They wanted you to go to church and blah, 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 and it's like, I just don't feel that way. I don't care what you say.
It's the same thing that's going on there that anywhere else, because if they can rope you in, that's 10% of whatever you make. So if you're a wealthy man, that's a lot of money that's coming into the church just for that one seat. And that's why it's so important. That's why some religions make a point of going door to door and, really try to rope it in. And I'm sure you'll get brownie points for each one that you get, and all this, like it's a system, and it all comes down to money.
Well, it is. We're coming up in this election cycle and we'll bring that up. It's almost the same thing. They go door to door. Well, now they just show up in your inbox or they show up on your commercial or something saying, you're it's important that you vote and give us $5 and just as little as $5 can make a difference. Boy,
I know. I saw Trump was doing this fundraising and it was $5 that he wanted. And actually, I've heard too, a lot of Christians are saying that they get really pressured in the church to vote for Trump. Because the minister's up there, he's like, you want to make sure you're voting for him, and you better be, like some of them are getting like really kind of pushy about this. And they're feeling really uncomfortable. Some of them don't want to vote for Trump, but they feel like they have to now because otherwise, the minister will get mad, and whatever, like, holy smokes. Like, and we got to remember that church and state are holding hands. They always have. They're in bed. They always have. What do you think? The church doesn't pay tax.
Yes.
And now the politics are literally in the church. They're literally almost forcing them to vote that way. So
the fact that it's a system that works. That's the thing. All those what do you call cults of any sort or groups, it's always the same system. You join, you believe in the same thing, you get together, you become a group, and everybody's friendly, yada yada yada, and then you do the same thing, and that's the thing. It's always the same steps, and the people, somebody said something about us being like sheep. Yes, we're like sheep. They do the same thing. Here's the pen, there's the chute, and we always go through the chute, and the dog comes up and bites us in the heels, and we go through the chute, even though it makes us in the end into lamb chops. But we all follow the same
luckily for us, they don't have that much of a brain, so I don't know. Hopefully,
but the system works. Don't matter how many times it breaks. Like you were talking about the next new religion coming up, and it might happen. Like in the Middle East, I looked it up. Middle East, 93% of the people in the Middle East are Muslim. Okay. Yeah. But in the United States, 65% of American adults are Christian. And it's so funny because a lot of people will say they're Christian or some religion, but how many of those 65% even know what their religion is or what they're believing in or anything?
Probably not.
Yeah,
most likely not.
I believe in the Bible or God or something, but they don't know anything about it.
Not really, no.
Who's the 12 apostles? Was Biden one of the 12 apostles? Yes. Like that. You probably say that. They wouldn't know. They wouldn't know the difference.
No, I know. It's amazing. It's amazing. People identify with something, they have no clue, but they just trust that. Again, we go back to faith. They have faith that their parents were right, that their grandparents were, and so on and so on and so. Because this has been going on for a while now, and you just have faith that there's no way that all these people were wrong. You know what I mean? They just don't want to believe that. They just can't believe that. And this is when because right now we're on that precipice where religion is crumbling, and once that UFO alien type of thing comes out, and actually the Pope already said that he wants to baptize the first alien that comes here, so they're already disclosing this. They're already kind of telling us, the Vatican is on board with that whole thing, okay, and that's the thing, like once that's known, people's faith and religions are going to crumble. They're going to realize, oh shoot, that book wasn't right, there's going to be a lot of
you're just gonna trade one for the other. Come on, you're gonna get rid of the
I think they are, because you know what, and then you're gonna be so devastated.
You're gonna have a space Pope.
Because it's going to be good, right? It's going to be all peace. It's going to be all this, right? It's going to sound very good. It's going to be very, very similar to most of them, right? It's as we saw in the iPet Goat 3 video that we went through, right? At the end, what's going to be? It's the Jew and the Muslim merging together.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's going to be. Yeah. And I don't know what they're going to call
it. They are pretty close in religion stuff in a way.
Yeah. The Jewish is very similar. Obviously, we basically stole that. So, got in on their thing. But so it'll be very similar, so it'll be very easy for people to just shoe right in there. And, everything is just transferred over. You go to the same church and everything's just the same, don't worry about it. Right. So
exactly. And so that's the whole thing. It's based on some future thing that's going to happen. They're already planning for it. It's the if you already know what's going to happen in case. See, the Pope is trying to make it reality now, so that when this does happen, people just go, oh yeah, Pope was talking about that. He's going to baptize first aliens, It's all going to be good because, the Pope knows. God must have told him. And so we're going to be okay with that. And then the thing is, the religions are going to splinter. People's faiths are going to, crumble. And then the new AI God or whatever it is going to come along and swoop us all up. And, then you're going to believe in something new. And it's about time. Religions don't last forever. they only last for, a couple, 2, 3, 4,000 years. Some of them are a little older, but as they get older, they shrink. Like,
and then as we wake up, then it's a new reset and we go back to the beginning again. And so this is what's been happening to us, right? So, and here we are again at that moment again in time. We know what time it is, it's reset time.
Yep.
They've already said that. They already actually used those words, so.
Like I said before.
I was going to say, going back to the religions there, I hate to tell you guys, but if you did follow along with that video that Robert and I did, the iPet goat, Christianity and the Abrahamic and the Illuminati, which is in charge of all of that, will be taken out at the last minute there. So, we're not even going to be part of it at all. And the Jews have been very adamant through all this time that they do not want us Gentiles around. So and then with the Deagle report, it makes you wonder, what's coming? Right?
Yeah.
What are they planning? We just had Hillary Clinton say that, oh yeah, something big's coming in October. It always does.
Well, and they need, in order to usher in some new faith or belief, you have to have a cataclysm event. Remember, comets or eclipses used to be the big, coming event, giant earthquake. Oh, God did it. The devil did it. God hates us. He's trying to kill us off. It was a big flood. Oh, yeah, that was in the Bible, didn't they?
We just had a major hurricane. I mean, apparently there's like over 2,000 people.
Yeah, well, we don't know because FEMA's keeping it from us. So,
Yeah, well, they haven't even probably counted everybody yet. No, this is horrible. What's going on here?
Yeah, it really is.
But this is part of it,
in that way, it's telling you that people are not going to have faith in one thing. They're going to turn their faith to something else. And at that moment in time, if you play on the situation, you could create a new religion off of that. If you helped somebody and said, the god Zimzam, showed up and, he brought me this food to give you and this medicine. Yeah. Here you go.
Oh, hey, we're all looking for a savior. And that's the thing. It wouldn't be very hard for something to just come on in and take over and do that. Like, honestly, I think we're all kind of ready for that.
I mean, these people, a person that's broke, poor, and needing of medicine and food says Zimzwam, showed up and gave us all this food. Yeah. What does he want? Well, he just wants your undying faith and belief in him that, when he comes back, he will be your new savior and he will reward you tenfold for just
well, we've been waiting 2,000 years for that. I don't think that gig's up, but
but you see what I'm saying is people would be like, but he helped me right when I was really needing help. He showed up. Zimzam is awesome. I like him. I'm in because what I didn't really study in it.
Yeah, well, if this Antichrist is any good, I guess he's going to fix all our problems.
Well, isn't that kind of what they said? I don't know the whole thing about the Antichrist and the Revelation thing, but in these
he's coming from the East and the Middle East. Yeah, somebody from the Middle East. He's going to be Muslim, and must be very, very charismatic again, like all of these leaders that have, done bad things in the past. They're very charismatic, like Mr. H was Man of the Year and, and all this, right? So, he'll come in and tell us exactly what we want to hear, at the right time. And that's what it's all about. And we're all going to be grateful for it, I'm sure. It's going to be so bad that we're like, oh my God, thank God for this guy,
Yeah.
And, so then he'll be the next savior or whatever. And then that's probably how that whole religion thing is going to come in, I guess.
Yeah.
Considering he is a Muslim. So, yeah.
Here's the big question for you as we wrap up this show and everything. Here's one of the last questions I have on my thing. What happens when people have faith and believe in something, and then they're confronted with the truth based on logic and answers, physical answers and logic? what do those people usually tend to do?
It depends. It depends on a lot of things. But if it's different than their belief system, they tend to think it's a lie or misinformation, mistranslation, or back in the years ago, it was the devil. The devil changed everything. The devil made the bones of the dinosaurs. Dinosaurs didn't exist. The devil put them there.
The devil put them there. That's right.
Yeah. Just like the devil made me cheat on my wife too,
Yeah.
That devil, I should tell you.
Well, exactly. But and that's the thing. It's like 2 + 2 = 5. Kids are getting taught that now. And it's like eventually it's like, well, what do you mean? It's 4? What do you mean 4? Well, logic says that 2 + 2 is 4. I can prove it in facts and physical form. But remember back a few years ago, that's what it was. The big thing was 2 + 2 = 5. Who's teaching that? What kind of idiots are they?
It's kind of like how this big fat Santa comes down the chimney too. Like the kids wonder, right? But oh no, we won't question it because then if we don't believe, then we're not going to get the presents. You see, so yeah, we better just keep believing. That he comes through there and everything, and that's how it is. And that's kind of how it is for us with religion, to be honest. It's like we don't want to not believe because then it's not going to be true, So just in case, we hang on to it,
Yeah. I think Steve Bo's got it right. The devil's more fun. And of course, most people are going to go to the easiest route. Hey, the easiest route is to just drive over that guy's lawn, even though it's a wrong thing to do. We just drive over his lawn every day, make a road there, and eventually that will become the road. Even though it makes the guy all pissed off and he comes out and he runs and chases everybody, you do it long enough, it becomes the truth. And that's really, in simple factual ways, even though people believe that's the road, it really isn't. The fact is the road's over there and you got to go all around the block when you can just drive through that guy's yard, get to the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a hard thing, faith.
It's funny because there was no devil before religion came in. Like as the pagans, they didn't believe in any devil. That's the thing. So the witches back in the day, there was no devil, there was no Satan. That's all new. That's in Christianity or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's what you got to remember. And so we got to go back, like past all this stuff. Like we got to get past all this stuff. Like I know it's hard because a lot of people are kind of invested in it, especially if you start making a living. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden you're stuck there now, even if your beliefs have changed, and I'm seeing that in the community. And it's, that's what I mean. It's not just Christians that are, being upset, there's everybody,
Yeah.
Because there's two sides of the coin and there's a lot of different coins and, yeah, so.
Okay, now I'm going to incriminate both of you.
Okay.
I want you both to name me one thing that you have faith and believe in.
Well, death and taxes has always been up there, right?
Yeah.
Never going to get rid of that. Death is for sure going to happen no matter what we do. But no, I have belief in myself. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the only thing I can control is me and my thoughts and how I react to them. You know what I mean? So that, anything or anybody else, I can't, you know what I mean? I just got to sit back and have faith that everybody is going to behave and do the things that I expect them to or want them to, but I can't control it. So I just got to sit back and have faith in that.
Nice. Good answer. Lucky. Tough one.
No, it's not. It's pretty simple. It's very, very simple.
Okay.
I do believe in myself, but I also believe in my guardians because they tell me the truth. They've never misjudged anything. They come from a place of pure love and straightforwardness. And yes, there are spirits who give you bad information. But if you really are in tune with yourself, you can feel like, wait, this doesn't feel right, and you'll know it. And that's the problem with people, is that if you're in a religion and it makes you feel good, you stay. And if they do something that makes you feel bad and say, this doesn't feel right, that's when you stop. And I think we all have that intuition to know, wait a second, this isn't right. And we have to really believe in ourselves long enough to say, you know what? I just don't feel right about this anymore. And I got to step out. I got to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got to do that. I think when we feel that things aren't right, we have to say to the people that we trust previously and tell them, you know what? This isn't working for me. I just don't feel right. I don't feel comfortable anymore. And I've got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happening in the churches. People are leaving in droves, you know.
Well, yeah, because I think
themselves and they realize, wait a second, this doesn't feel right anymore, and it's time to go.
Yeah.
And the churches themselves, they keep trying to draw people back with, food and music and entertainment, coffee shop. I seen the one in a couple towns down here, and they had a coffee shop right at the church. And I thought, oh my gosh, you can go get your latte and go hear a little preaching.
Well, that's nothing. That's nothing. I just saw an advertisement for a drag show in the church.
Oh man.
Now, I mean, I don't know what more blasphemy you can possibly bring into the church than a drag queen fucking thing. Like, you know what I mean? All ages, they want the kids there and all this. And it's like, really? Wow. Yeah. They've really gone downhill. And I've noticed they have a lot of these celebrities, if you will, influencers that are now, come out that they're, and they're all hinting at, this, to try and get them back. To try and make it popular again,
Oh, yeah, because you fall out of style. I mean, for hundreds of years, it wasn't nothing because I think we talked about it. It's technology that's really ruined it a lot, because for hundreds of years, whatever your parents believed or whatever you believed in, and your great-great-great-great-grandfather or grandparents or whatever would have believed in the exact same thing you did. You would have had no outside influence to alter your way of thinking. But today we got all these things on every side of us saying, blah, 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 do this, believe that, believe this, believe this, believe that, to the point where nobody researches anything. Nobody investigates.
Yeah.
So if you don't investigate and you don't research, how can you make a good decision? And that boils down to what I said. You hear something that somebody said that's right. Hey, that guy said the XYZ is, I feel that way. Yeah. I'm going to believe and have faith in that guy. I don't know if it's right or not, but it just sounds like a good idea. But I didn't do any research on it. And that guy was just talking bullshit. Really.
Yeah.
And you didn't know it because you never looked into it. You just said, I believe.
Nina is right. There is drag communion in at 33rd Avenue in Vancouver at the Shinigan Heights United Church. I thought, this can't be right, so I had to look into it.
Wow.
And it's right here. It's right here. Drag communion. Holy
I think
moly.
it's all over, because I saw something local here to me. I'm about an hour outside of Vancouver, but that does not shock me at all. Yeah, and they're all over the place. Like, this is, the woke thing is getting in there, and it's like, wow, holy smokes. Like, they're just conforming because they don't want to lose their people. You know what I mean? So they can't be as hard on them anymore. They have to conform. They're going to have to accept homosexuality. I do believe our prime minister is basically come out now, and so he heavily promotes that whole community front and center there. And I even saw something about him, because he's in hot water right now with a bunch of things, and apparently because what he does is he just takes off. You don't know where, but apparently he's taken off with his new lover, because his wife left him right a few months ago. So so that's our leader of our country, and so no wonder the churches are just like, hey,
Oh yeah,
I guess
Lucky, I think we have a question for you. Mary Wynn says, how do you know that your guides are who they say they are?
Because they're my guides. There's a peace that you feel when the guides are, the right guides. There's a peace you feel. It's serenity, peace, love, compassion, joy. That's the good guides. Then there's the other guides who are manipulative and want you to do things and give you ideas that are fantastic and they're very functional, but they're manipulative, and you can feel that. And you've got to use your God-given intuition to know which guide you're dealing with. And sometimes the negative ones are fun. They give you information that works and is powerful and will get you what you need. But the more you feed that energy and you do what they want, the more you feed them, and they're going to become more and more powerful, and they're going to manipulate you and give you information that is going to get you into trouble. But yes, you have to trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, then you have to understand the message, the meanings in the message. So if you're having trouble with your guides and you think maybe they're manipulating or they're not positive, then you have to write down the messages you receive and say, okay, let me look at this unbiased. What is this message? Is this a good message, or is this kind of, trying to get me separated from the people around me? Because that's another thing, that there's going to be a guides who seem positive, or they're going to try to get you away from things that might be right for you, but they'll give you information that might make you think it seems wrong. It's complicated. You have to trust in yourself, because if you don't trust in yourself, then you're going to have to find someone to trust in. And it might just be, the religion that you have to follow. Doing the right thing is always right. That's it. Doing the right thing is always right. Jesus never said, love your neighbor unless they're a certain demographic, unless they're against your religion. If they're the opposite religion, you don't have to love them. No, Jesus said, love thy neighbor. Cut and dry, easy peasy, And when God said, don't worship any God outside of me, that's a complicated thing, because it just might mean don't worship a God that it conflicts with your own basic belief system. And we do that sometimes. Think about it. Christianity, Catholicism, Jesus was a great guy, but then you're supposed to do things about shunning people, which Jesus would never have done. Killing people, which is the worst. But again, all these things are, what is right is always right. It's simple as that. So if the guys are giving you information that doesn't seem right, you're gonna have to cut them off.
All right. Yeah. No, I agree. Nina, why don't you give us an update? It says you're doing a giveaway. Why don't you tell everybody about that a little bit tonight, and what is going on tomorrow? Because we're going to have a great show on Sunday Live.
Yeah, we're gonna take it easy here for this month. Kind of, I'm gonna get back in here. More seasonal, I guess, shows coming up here. I'm just putting the link in for tomorrow night's show right there. And so tomorrow we're just going to talk about, what we're thankful for. We actually, in Canada, we have Thanksgiving next weekend. And so that's kind of why we're talking about that. So next weekend, we won't be live, but there'll be the show that I did over on Steiger's channel will be on next week. But and then I thought I would also do some free card pulls if anybody's interested in getting some seasonal. I was going to use my Halloween cards if anybody wants to drop in and get a free card pull. And then so that other video, the other comment there is to enter the draw that we're going to be doing on Halloween show on the 27th.
Nice.
So yeah,
what can we win there?
The grand prize, I got 3 prizes. The grand prize will be 60-minute session with me, and a pendant, which is for protection, and a sticker pack. And then the second and the third prize will be sticker packs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love the stickers.
And then for the Halloween show, Robert and I will, be dressed up and whatever. And if you guys want to show up, in costume. Anybody that shows up in studio with costume, I'll send some stickers too. Okay. But yeah, it's going to be a Halloween party there at the end of the month. I got it all scheduled up already. So if you go to my channel, make sure you subscribe, of course, and check out all the links there. You'll see it all scheduled. Everything is all scheduled for the month now. I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Like it. I can't wait. It's going to be a good show. And don't forget to sign up, people. All you got to do is sign up, comment in the comment section. That's that easy, right?
Yeah. For a free entry, just comment on that video, and I will write your name down, put it in the crystal skull, and we will be picking the winner during the Halloween show. So you definitely want to come back for that. Join us live. And if you want to dress up and come, or you don't even have to dress up, you can still just come in to party. Like, I don't want to make a big pressure. That's why I'm not going to do a contest and all that. It's just too much pressure for people. A lot of people don't, but you might want to still just come and join us, party, hang out, whatever. It's just casual. Maybe some spooky stories. That would be cool. That kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot lighter. No more, none of this conspiracy, anything. No religion.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Great. So I'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. Lucky, thank you. Glad to have your channel back on the air again. It's always a good thing to do that. And thank you for both being on tonight. I want to shout out to everybody in the chat. Mary Wynn, Scotty Boy, Steve Bow, Chloe, who's driving home from work right now. Let's see, Sunset Dreamer, Satirian Sun, Pamela Jean, Elderberry, Awaken Lotus, thank you for coming tonight. Let's see, did I miss anybody? I'm sure I did. Witchy Moon was in chat too. Satirian Sun, I think I got everybody, but if I missed you, sorry about that, but thank you everyone for being here tonight. Remember, go out and do something nice for somebody. Do something nice for somebody else. Remember, there's a lot of people hurting, especially over there in North Carolina. Be careful who you give your money to. If you're giving it to somebody over there, make sure it goes directly to a organization that actually helps people. Smaller is better, as they would say. That's my guide to that. But everybody, remember that even if you don't help those people, there's a trickle-down effect. Help somebody else, and that will help somebody, and it'll come back in different ways. It's just the way it works. So thank you, everyone. Remember, go out and be the frequency you want to receive. That's really how it works. Okay, everybody. Love you all. Peace, everybody.
Bye.